Hey Eric, good start on this. I really like your penguin. So my main suggestion is to really think about what you want to stand out the most and how you can unify this surface. There's a lot of objects here, but they don't seem to relate to each other. So there's a couple ways you can do that. You could soften everything up a little bit and then work on some of the perspective. So if you do want to be at this angle, you'd be seeing things at different in different sizes and different perspective. So again, if these were in the front, they would look a lot bigger, and then if these were in the back, they would look a lot smaller. So it's a little confusing with the perspective. You have to really think of where you're going to put the city name. This is such a dark sky that you can see you can't see the black because dark on dark is not legible. So again, you can't see the top of the penguin either because dark on dark is just hard to read. So you might want to try more gradients, and some areas need to be cleaned up quite a bit. Like I think this is a road, but it's hard to tell because this would be really teeny. Just like a railroad, railroad tracks, they kind of converge and then they're very small. So you would see this big and it would get smaller. For any kind of, if you want to study any of this stuff, you can just look at images on the web. And you could see the perspective and how it's used. This is, it's one of the tools of drawing that is really learned after a drawing class. So I'm just going to show you a couple of these and how they dealt with it. Now you can see this one. It's again, it's kind of softish. I wish more would have stood out, but again, see how the sky is really light and the clouds, so you can really see the type. They put more stuff down here. You don't have to. Again, this one too, a little bit of use of a gradient here, and then the ship, and it really was a good start until they added the text. They really messed it up with the text. The text is not readable. And you don't really have to label the attractions unless you want to. Again, this one's a little bit overly saturated, but again, look at the use of the gradients in it. Same here. And again, the gradient should have been applied from down to up or up to down, not in this direction, because that's not how skies look. Skies look usually they're lighter at the top or lighter at the bottom. So, and again, notice the overlap here. So again, it just really helps to study. And again, this is a really good use of perspective. See how this is getting smaller in the background. This is looking at from head on. So again, notice how the roads get so tiny when they go back there. So again, just some suggestions. Again, the objects were great here, but again, they just threw them on top. They all look like they're floating. Everything else is pretty cool except for the way that the attractions, and again, I would have simplified it. And again, this looks like it's on top. It doesn't look like it's part of the water. And, the final wasn't really much better. And here's just, and again, you can see how, the background is pretty muted. So those are just a few of my suggestions, but you can also bring parts in, like suggested in the iConnect, and trace them with the pen tool. That would really show that you could use the pen tool as well, because some of these areas, this should be a curve with the pen tool, not using the pencil or paintbrush. You should really make the shapes with the pen tool. So that's going to end up impacting your grade if you don't show some, some curved lines with the pen tool, because again, these projects are about putting everything that we've learned together. So again, some of those exercises where you made the curves, you should be employing them here as well. Okay, so anyway, let me know if you have any questions, and I hope you found this useful.